Hey there and welcome. My name is Mr. Barry and this whole video will be disassembling an HP Chromebook. Now these steps do work with other types of Chromebooks, and so you can use these steps on other types of Chromebooks. And the reason why we're opening up this one is because it's been overheating. So we'll turn it on about 5 to 15 minutes after turning it on. Notice that it locks up, it disconnects from the internet, has other issues as well. And what's causing that is actually a layer of dust, and we're going to show you how to take off the back cover, remove that dust, put everything back together. The other thing that I'll be doing in this video is showing you how to upgrade the internal storage if you need to do that. Hey, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and share the video on your social media, as that really helps the channel. You can also leave comments down below, and that also helps the channel greatly. And before we get into the steps of disassembling a Chromebook, I do have other videos out as well. For example, let's say you're having software issues with the Chromebook. I have a link to that video above me there, and that's how to do a power wash. So if your Chromebook is acting slow, then you can watch that video and you see step by step on how to do a power wash on your Chromebook. I have other videos too on how to take apart newer types of Chromebooks, and I'll have a link to that video above me there. And that is many of the newer models. For example, if you have a break in the hinge or something wrong with the hinge, I have a video on that. So let's get into the steps of how to disassemble and take out the dust on an HP Chromebook. We're going to open it up, and we're suspecting there's a lot of dust in this unit, and that's what's causing it. And also, if you look at it, it has this patina color on it. It looks like it got really hot at one time. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the part where we're disassembling it. Okay, here's the HP Chromebook 14, and first thing that you would want to do is unplug it from power, which I've already done, and then you want to remove these screws on the back. Have some tape. Double-sided tape is nice so that you can keep track of all of your screws. Right by the hinge, there's these little covers, plastic covers. Take those off as well, and make sure you remove the screws from under there. After removing these screws around the corner and the edges here, you notice that there's two more. So carefully remove these two plastic covers. They're glued in place. There's one. Don't want to lose that one. And there's two. So remove these last two. So now we've removed all the screws, making sure that we removed the extra screws that were here underneath these covers and these covers. Now what we're going to do is flip it over and open it up. Now if the unit turns on at this time, just power it off by pressing and holding the power button. Now what we're going to do is we need to lift this part up. We need to separate this, and you can use any type of like a gift card or any of those, and we're going to start from the front corner here, any of the front corners, and you so it gets in there, and then you pry it up gently. There we go. And once it's started, you can use your fingernail. And now you have one corner up. Being careful around the touchpad. Keep on going with your fingernail going through, and these should just pop right up for you. Now when this is open, you have to be careful how far you expand it, because if you look down here, you'll see that there's two cables. One cable is for the touchpad, the other cable is for the keyboard. So starting from the front, bring this on. Now this is separate from the base. Many times when you do this, since the screen of a laptop is so heavy, it will flip back or flip backwards here. So you gotta hold it down, and you're lifting this up, and you have to remove the cables. So there's two cables that you have to, and this cable here is attached with, and you zoom in on that. All we have to do is pull this part up and out. There we go. When this lifts up, the cable comes right out. You notice which side is up and down. The black goes towards the bottom, the blue goes towards the sky. It's an easy way to remember it. We'll do the same thing here to the touchpad cable. This lifts up. Again, blue is going towards the sky, and then the silver is towards the ground there. Okay, and this lifts right out. Now, this is off. The next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you what we have here. So the battery, this is the main board, and this is a cable that goes over to what you might call a daughter board, and this has other connections such as USB. This is an SD card reader, more USBs on this side, as well as, let's see, what else do we have? Head jack. The power, by the way, is here. So I'm going to zoom in on that. So I'm going to be removing this. This has a power connection. This is the Wi-Fi right here, right next to it. Maybe why it was overheating and not working, because it got so hot. This comes off, and then there's 3 screws that attach the cooling fan unit. So let me remove those now. Alright. There's a large amount of dust everywhere. More carefully remove the Wi-Fi cables. Here's one. Next the auxiliary, and here's the main, and they just pull straight up. There's one screw holding the Wi-Fi on. There we go. There we go. This is out now. This is the Wi-Fi, and it's now off. Next thing that we want to do is get into this and remove the cooling fan, and also its power connection. This is the power connection here. over to the side, and that one just pulls straight out. There we go. So it's out. These are the 3 screws here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to carefully remove the Wi-Fi antenna cable and remove the first of the screws that go to the cooling fan. These are different than the screws that were on the back, so they're going in a different location over here in my pile of screws that we're collecting. Keeping an eye on. So the screws that were on the fan, cooling fan are short, and the screws that went to the back of the unit are long. I can show you here the difference in width and their size here. So there you go. This goes to the back, and these short ones go into the cooling fan and also the Wi-Fi. Alright. And one more screw for the cooling fan. And then it lifts out. Okay, we're going to have to pry this out a little bit. Okay, there we go. It comes out. There it is. And this is packed with dust. So all I'm going to do is clean this out. And yeah, there's a lot of dust bunnies in here. So we're going to clean this out, and then you'll join me here after that. I just pulled that one out, but there's a lot of these dust bunnies in this. So after I clean these out, I take the small, you can use a small paintbrush, and then with one finger you hold the fin or the fan in place so it doesn't move about, and then you can loosen all the dust that's in there. And there is dust in here. Now remember, this is just loosening the dust. It's not removing all of it at all. Also take the brush and go in here and get all of the fins, all the blades of the fan need to be touched by the paintbrush to loosen the dust. Okay, and that's what you want to do. You just want to blow it out. Some people use canned air at this time, but if you're blowing out dust with canned air, sometimes water condensation happens, and it mixes with the dust, and it forms mud. So I've learned just to loosen the dust with a paintbrush and blow it out. There we go. Now we want to clean this area. And do the same thing. And towards the back, near the hinge, the surface of the main board needs to be dusted off. And there was dust there. The camera may not pick it up, but I saw a lot of dust right now blow off. Okay, on the Wi-Fi card, same thing. You want to dust it here, dust it off, blow off the remaining dust, and then get into all the nooks and crannies. Now I've had a few inquiries on removing the main board. Removing the main board, basically all you have to do that would be to lift up this, pull this card out, and then this is the cable that goes from the main board to the display, and you do have to remove this tape. when you do, pull straight up. And it is tight. And it pops out. There you go. Now you'll look on the main board and you'll see a number of screws. The screws, by the way, will have these triangles or these arrows pointing to them. That way when you're reassembling the unit, you're not putting in the screws in the wrong place. And notice that I'm putting these screws again in a different area than any of the others. Okay, that's unique. And now, what we're going to do to take this part out here, on this cable here, you want to remove it from this side. You don't need to, don't remove it from this side, from the main board side, but from the daughter card side. We'll have to remove the battery. That cable, taking note of where it went and what it goes to. And this is power. Normally you don't have to go this far, just removing dust. Now after you removed all the screws, of course this comes out. Now what we're going to do is upgrade the drive. So what was here was a 16 gig M.2 drive, so you know what kind of drive to buy. It's the M.2. And you want to insert a new one. There you go. And then put in the screw. So now you have the new M.2 storage device in there. Now we're going to reassemble the machine. This cable, by the way, went in here. So you can upgrade the HP 14 Chromebooks solid state drive. but boy, is it hard to get to. There we go. It should snap into place where the USBs are now connected. Plug in this was the speaker. Plug that one back in. There we go. By the way, when you're doing this on your unit, you could be wearing an anti-static wristband, which I recommend, but I left mine in the office. Again, reattaching these ribbon cables. There it goes. Reattach the Wi-Fi card. After putting in the screw for the Wi-Fi card, reattach the antenna. So it's underneath here, went around through that housing. Making sure they seat firmly straight down, just the way that you pulled them out. And the cables have to be tucked away in there, because if not, the keyboard will not sit properly. Okay, now you have all the other cables attached. Now attach your display and then power. So now the display is on. Then the very last thing you want to connect is power. And this thing's going to turn on. Okay, now take the keyboard. And by the way, this message here is normal whenever you upgrade a hard drive. You'll get this message, and what it does is it tells you where to go to get the operating system so you can download it, put it on jump drive, and load the Chrome OS operating system onto the new hard drive that you just upgraded to. What we're going to do is reattach these cables first here. Okay, when you reattach the cable, slip the ribbon cable in and then close this down like this. This is the touchpad. Snug it in place and then close this down. Now they're both securely in place. What we're going to do now is take this and close it up, starting from the hinge and then pressing firmly, just like this. And the very end is right center front. That's the last part that you would be squeezing together. It's not that much pressure, and it didn't take that much pressure to open up anyway. Now lay the machine down and reattach your screws. Right. Okay, now once you have done that, take the little plastic covers and reattach them. Now on this particular unit, when the customer brought them in, they were already missing the back feet. And attach these. Okay, now what I'm going to do is flip this over, plug it again into power. So now it's receiving power, and we're going to see if she comes on. It should come on into Chrome and then tell me to install the OS. There we go. There we go. This is the message you expect whenever you've upgraded the hard drive. The hard drive I put in there was brand new. And what you do is you go to this website on of course, another computer that can get onto the website right now. And that's at google.com. I'll show you on the screen right now. And then you type in that model number. Let me take you and show you how to do that too. Now what we've done on that system is we totally took it apart, disassembled it, removed all the dust, cleaned it up, and then we upgraded the solid state drive. Remember, that's an M.2 drive. You can find those at Newegg or Tiger Direct. Now what we're going to do is reinstall the operating system. Well, how do you install the operating system on Chrome OS? Well, it's rather easy. Right when you do that, you'll see when you open it up, it says go to this website and get that model. So we would go to this website here, and that's Chrome OS Recovery. And once you're there at that location, it'll give you directions on getting what's called the Recovery app. Now I already have the Recovery app, which is kind of nice. So I just go click on apps there and then go to Recovery. Okay, now once you find the Recovery app, it'll open up like this. And it says creates a recovery media for your Chromebook. Click on Get Started. And right here where it says the box for the model name, there's the model name that you took a picture of. So just type in the model, and it's starting to find one already. B2Q-D87. Okay, found an exact model match. That's what it's saying here. So then you say continue. And now it says insert your USB flash drive into your machine. So do that. Give it a few moments to be found. There, it's found it. It says, do you want to select it? Yes. And say continue. Now remember, all data on that jump drive is going to be erased. So you want to put one in there that has no data on it, or one that you don't care about losing information on it. Then click on Create Now. And it says, do not remove your recovery media. So you make sure that you don't remove it during this time. Okay, now it's verifying the download. Now it's unpacking. Now it's writing. Okay, it says success. Your recovery media is now ready. Click on done. You can unplug the stick now. And just to be sure I'm going to click on the safe eject now. Eject. There you go. Now take this, and we're going to plug it into the HP Chromebook 14 and reinstall that operating system. Take the USB flash drive that has the Chrome OS on it and put it in. And the screen will change in a moment or two. It's now restarting, and it's taking the operating system off from the USB stick. It's verifying the operating system, and then it's going to write it to the new solid state drive. Okay, now it says it's complete. Please remove the USB stick. The system will automatically restart. You don't have to press any keys. And there we are. So here you see the system is charging. You would then select your network and put in your username for Chrome, your password, and you're done. Hey, so now you know how to take apart a Chromebook, take out the dust, put it all back together, and get it working there. If you like these types of videos, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, because I do love reading your comments. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Also, there in my first part of my channel at Selma Teacher 7, you'll notice that there's a little PayPal link up there. So if you do want to donate something, buy coffee for me, something like that, you can click on the link there to PayPal and drop me a few dollars there as a tip. That would be wonderful. Thank you again there, and you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.